What are your to-do lists supposed to accomplish? Ideally, a good to-do list will do these things for you: give you control over your workday, allow you to meet your deadlines, let you do the right things at the right time, prevent you from wasting valuable time, reduce stress, improve focus, reduce frustration. The productivity paradox: how your to-do lists are hampering your success. When a task management system is ineffective, a problem called productivity paradox occurs. It means that even though to-do lists are created to organize tasks and do things at the right time, with a wrong system, all efforts towards productivity are futile. Why you're not finishing your list of to-do items? The whole point of making a to-do list is to check off all the items in the list at the end of said time. There are reasons why one wouldn't finish tasks in a to-do list. The author carefully identified 8 of these reasons. Reason number 1: you misunderstand the goal of to-do lists. A lot of people do not understand the aim of a to-do list. They believe it is a tool that helps to complete a set of tasks that deserve their attention. Meanwhile, a good to-do list ensures that there's focus on the more pressing tasks, rather than less important ones. The goal of a good to-do list isn't to make sure all tasks are completed, but rather to make sure that you do the right things at the right time. Reason number 2: you neglect to assign deadlines. A to-do list without a deadline is as good as a wish list. It is easier to complete tasks when there is a deadline to beat. A deadline leaves no room for inaction. For instance, how quickly would you pay your electricity bills if there's no deadline? Or how early will you renew your car license if there was no definite expiry? Of course, the likely answer would be never. Deadlines, however, put an end to procrastination. It pushes you to complete a task before it is due. They also decide what jobs to do, and when. Reason number 3: your lists are too long. A long list can be distracting in the sense that you lose focus, as you don't know where to start because there are too many options. It can prove to be unrealistic, as there are too many tasks and hence, become unmanageable. When the list is too long, it becomes overwhelming. So, you are discouraged because you may feel no matter what tasks you do, it won't make much difference in the list. Finally, a long list will encourage procrastination, because, at the end of the day, if you're unable to complete the set-out tasks, it'll discourage you from attempting it another day. Reason number 4: your lists have too much variability. Having too much variability means there's no connection with the tasks in the list. High-priority tasks placed beside low-priority tasks, or urgent tasks set near trivial tasks. The outcomes of having a list with too much variability are, firstly, it creates what is known as a paradox of choice, which states that the more options we have, the less capable we are to decide between them and the more anxiety we experience as a result. Secondly, too much variability means it will take more time to get things done. Too much variability will also increase stress levels, which, when coupled with limited time, means you're more likely to miss deadlines. This can trigger feelings of guilt, shame, and frustration. Reason number 5: you give yourself too many options. Having too many options makes even the most straightforward choices tough to make. Say, you have to choose between watching TV, going to the gym, or having a meaningful conversation with your spouse. These are simple tasks, but each has its importance. If it were to be morning, when your cognitive abilities are still at their peak, it would have been easy to make a decision. However, in the evening, you're tired, and as a result, you have an impaired ability to make rational decisions. You now experience what is known as decision fatigue. It is a state in which you're less able to make good decisions because you're mentally exhausted from making decisions throughout the day. As simple as the decisions made during the day may be, it still counts. To-do lists that present too many options worsen this problem. You end up making unnecessary decisions concerning which tasks to work on. Doing this will lead to decision avoidance, in which case, instead of facing the tasks head-on, you move on to doing something less fulfilling, say like checking your mail, or going through your Facebook page. Reason number 6: you neglect to add context for each task. Writing items down without specifying the time needed to complete them, the priority, the goal of the task, or even the role it plays in achieving a set goal, makes it difficult to know which task deserves immediate attention. If you don't know how important something is, or how long it will take to finish, and how it contributes to your goals, how can you tell whether you should work on it? If you don't know whether you need access to specific resources to work on a task, how can you determine whether working on it is even possible at a particular point in time? Of course, you can't. For this reason, to-do lists that offer no task-level context are ineffective. They do more harm than good. Because, rather than pushing you to work on your most important tasks, they cause you to waste time on items poorly suited to your current circumstances. Reason number 7, your tasks are defined too broadly. Broadly defined tasks have a problem of being too broad in scope, and as such, measuring success is very difficult. For instance, suppose one of the items on your to-do list is to build a website. Building a website involves several steps, many of which depend on the previous one. You would need to reserve a domain name, find a web host, create a hosting account, point your nameservers to the host servers, install WordPress, install a theme, install WordPress plugins, and much more. In other words, this single broadly defined item is a full-blown project consisting of numerous tasks. However, if a to-do list is narrowly defined, it makes the completion of a task achievable, as it sets a clear starting point and ending point. For example, if we list the above steps as individual tasks, you would know when the job, reserve a domain name, or find a web host, has been completed. Since they each have their objectives, it is easier to settle them individually, and know what item is next. Reason number 8, your tasks are not attached to specific goals. Realize that everything you do in life has a purpose. For example, the reason you change the oil in your car is to keep the engine in good shape. You make a reservation at a hotel or restaurant to ensure your space is secured. Your to-do list should be precisely like this. Setting goals spur you into action. It drives productivity because you know at the end of the task, you will achieve what you set out to accomplish. How negative emotions impair your productivity. It is necessary to understand that our emotions play a significant role in our productivity. When you're unhappy, hungry, tired, stressed, or fearful, your productivity is affected. You feel detached from your work, and as such, are less creative and have more difficulty making decisions. Then, you lose focus and become easily distracted. Of course, you will go further away from accomplishing your goal this way. If you're feeling so unproductive, try to identify what is causing it. Take a step back to reevaluate how you're feeling. Once you've identified whatever is triggering the negativity, you can take steps to change your circumstances and relieve the pressure. 10 Most popular to-do list systems. There isn't a single way of creating the most effective to-do list. There are multiple approaches to building one, depending on what suits an individual. The author discussed 10 of the most popular systems, some of which you may already know. 1. The massive, all-inclusive list. As the name implies already, this approach is a brain dump. It is merely a list of every single task you have in your head. This kind of system is useful in the sense that you don't forget a task, and you can know all the things you need to do. It is quite apparent the problems this approach will have. First, the list will be too long. Secondly, it will give room for too many options, which may lead to no work accomplished. Also, there is too much variability in such a list, because it is just a dump of all the tasks you are considering. This type of list will be a bad idea unless the various items are sorted based on priority, importance, context, or deadlines. 2. The task plus starting date plus due date list. This list tackles the issue of not assigning deadlines. In this approach, you make a list of the task, its starting date, as well as the due dates. Knowing this will boost performance. The benefits of this type of system are that it lets you focus on a smaller number of to-do items, since not all will have the same deadlines, so you can devote your attention to tasks that must be started that day or are in progress, or need to be completed that day. You can set aside tasks that have starting dates in the future. Secondly, you're less likely to work on tasks at the very last minute, if the starting dates and due dates are known. The task's starting dates will urge you to work on them early enough to meet their respective deadlines. 3. The to-do list twosome, master task list plus daily task list. This type of list is somewhat similar to the massive, all-inclusive list, except that it also has a daily task list in addition to the master list. So, what this means is that, after creating a brain dump of all the tasks you want to accomplish, you make a separate list for the tasks you want to achieve in a day. You review your master list every evening and look for jobs due soon. Once you identify these to-do items, you'd choose several and transfer them to the following day's daily list, that is, assuming your schedule allows enough room for them. Alternatively, you might also review your master list every few days instead of daily. Doing this gives ample time to plan for a couple of days in advance. 4. The 3+2 strategy. This to-do list has a basic working formula. 3 big tasks and 2 small tasks. Hence the 3+2. Big tasks are jobs that take 1 to 2 hours to complete, while small tasks are those that require less than 30 minutes. Preferably, 5 tasks are picked the night before and sorted into 3 big and 2 small jobs. The advantage of this list is that it improves your focus by limiting the scope of your task list. Since it is only 5 items you work on, you're less susceptible to distractions, less likely to suffer paralysis by analysis, a state in which you're unable to make decisions because you're over-analyzing a situation. Because this approach is not broad, it doesn't give room for task switching. Of course, the system is not perfect. There is no context added to the list, so there is no way to know which tasks require immediate attention. Instead, the to-do items are divided based on the duration of time needed to complete the work. The list also doesn't say where the tasks are from, thus, no master list, which means there is room to forget some tasks. Also, the list lacks flexibility, and the author illustrates this through this example. Suppose that tomorrow is a perfect day to complete a long list of small jobs. Each item will only take a few minutes to address. You need to pay bills, mail your Netflix DVDs, schedule a dentist appointment, email a friend, clean the toilet in your master bathroom, etc. The 3+2 strategy doesn't allow for this type of day. You can only pick 2 small tasks to work on. 5. The 1-3-5 rule here, as the name suggests, the tasks are divided into 3 big tasks, medium tasks, and small tasks. The advantages of this approach are that it is more flexible than the 3+2 method. It allows you to focus on more relevant tasks and also saves you from falling prey to optimism because it is easier to pile up your list with jobs that you will be too overwhelmed to do. The 1-3-5 rule also suffers from the same imperfections as the 3+2 strategy. First, there is no mention of giving context to the to-do items. There is also no mention of a master list where you bring out the 9 daily tasks. Besides being a fair approach, an improvement is still possible, with some modifications. 6. The project-based system. As the name implies, this system sorts tasks based on the project they belong to. Meaning, you would end up having multiple lists per project. The author gives an example. Say you want to remodel your kitchen, you would need to create a list for this project with the following tasks: plan the layout of your new kitchen, pick the types of cabinets you want, select your preferred countertop material, choose light fixtures, explore your backsplash options, list the appliances you want to replace, look for a new refrigerator to match the design of your new kitchen, call 3 contractors to solicit bids. Just like this, if you have another project, you'll have to make tasks under it. The advantages of this system are that it gives a bird's-eye view of all the projects you want to work on. Also, the application of task context is very much in use, as you can see the breakdown of each project. Its fault, however, is that there is too much variability, which opens doors for too many options. Also, with this system, the tasks are not organized to give information on how much of your day you spend on each job, or how much time you commit to a particular work. 7. The 3 MIT approach. The MIT stands for the most important task. This approach means that you select 3 high-priority tasks to focus on during your day. You have to get these 3 tasks done before the end of the day. This method leaves room for freedom, as you will have days where you finish very early. The problems with this system are that it leaves room for freedom and it doesn't touch on the issues of how you round up the tasks, the context, or deadlines. The idea of having a fixed number of jobs is good, but it can still be modified to be more effective. The Kanban method. This method is unique in the sense that it takes a more visual approach at making the to-do list. The author describes the process thus: grab a cork board and a stack of post-it notes. Make 3 columns on your board. Title the left column "To Do", title the middle column "Doing", title the right column "Done". So, what you do is, write a new task on a sticky note, for instance, add it to the "To Do" column. As soon as work begins on this task, you move the note to the "Doing" column. Then as soon as you complete the job, the note is moved to the "Done" column. Besides giving a visual representation of the tasks, this approach provides a broad layout of all the projects and the current stage each job is in toward completion. Also, the system can be modified such that different colors are used to represent different priority groups. Red for high priority, yellow for medium priority, and blue for low priority. An issue that this system faces is that it is possible to lose track of small tasks or even be overwhelmed by many tasks on the board. 9. The matrix system. The matrix, as its name implies, is made up of 4 quadrants that are titled as follows: Quadrant 1, important, urgent; Quadrant 2, important, not urgent; Quadrant 3, not important, urgent; Quadrant 4, not important, not urgent. The key feature of this method is organizing based on priority. You arrange tasks based on how important and urgent it is. High priority tasks will most likely be found in Quadrant I and II. On the other hand, if a task makes it to Quadrant IV, it shows that not doing these tasks will have close to no consequences, and as such can be ignored. The shortcomings of this approach are that it provides too many options and there is no context. Hence, there is no way to know the goal, connection between projects, or even deadline. 10. Getting things done, GTD. Just like its name suggests, this list ensures you get things done. The features of this system include you creating a master list, then sorting the items on the list based on importance, after which you perform a weekly report. The GTD isn't as rigid as some other approaches, and thus provides room for flexibility. The challenges with this system are, instead of focusing on getting the work done, it focuses more on letting the ideas out of your head. It also doesn't explain how the tasks relate to achieving your goal, and the flexibility of the list may be detrimental, as it creates unseriousness. Because the jobs may be many, the to-do list can become overwhelming. This begs the question, is GTD effective? The author says, in my opinion, one of the biggest downfalls of GTD is that it doesn't distinguish between high-value and low-value tasks. The priority is to get things done while little attention is given to whether the right things are getting done. How to create the perfect to-do list. The following steps, if followed religiously, will ensure that the to-do list created will be highly effective. 1. You isolate current tasks from future tasks. 2. You define to-do items by desired outcomes. 3. You break projects down to individual tasks. 4. Assign a deadline to each task. 5. Limit the number of current tasks to 7. 6. Organize tasks by project, type, or location. 7. Prune your list of unnecessary tasks. 8. Estimate the amount of time each task will take to complete. 9. Lead each task with an active verb. 10. Note the tasks require input from others. How to maintain a well-oiled to-do list system. After learning how to create a to-do list, maintaining the list is the next step. Firstly, you have to group similar tasks into a single batch to address them in a single work session. Having a long list can be overwhelming, so the next thing you would want to do is stay in control. Defining your to-do list by context, as explained earlier, will also help specify what to do next and as such make the decision-making easier. Conducting weekly reviews serves to show the flaws and strengths of the system, so you would want to do that. Updating your list of goals will make you accountable and focused. Try different ways to do tasks instead of being stuck trying a particular method. Follow a system that suits your needs and be consistent. Understanding the above tips will be very useful, but should you stumble along the way, the key is to acknowledge that no one is perfect. So accept your faults and get back to trying again. Have in mind that you may be confused about where to create your to-do list, be it offline, on paper, or online applications. You have to figure out which method perfectly works for you, as there is no perfect way to go about it. The done list. A done list records the tasks completed throughout the day. For some people, it serves as motivation, because it shows that you have achieved set goals. It is not compulsory for all because it does not have the same effect on everyone. The author, for instance, does not use a done list. Conclusion. By now, you should be feeling in control of your workday, as the author has given you the essential ingredients that will enable you to create a powerful to-do list with whatever method you choose. Keep in mind that being productive is not about keeping yourself busy. Instead, it is about getting the right things done based on your short and long-term goals. Finally, once you have created a reliable system, all you need to do is to stay consistent and vigilant. Try this when you are feeling unproductive or unaccomplished because of your inability to reach set goals. Don't push it away, don't give up. The key to staying in control and succeeding is to keep trying.